Hello, everyone, and this is going to be part two for the actual playlist we have going for Cargo 2, the 3-ton seizure in San Diego of a tanker. So we've gotten far enough where it's seized, it's been canine, it's been x-rayed, it's already under being processed as a load. So this particular load, what got my curiosity is that the fact that a supervisor let it through. Second, how is it going to clear Highway Patrol weight station? They're going to get way there. They're going to get their paperwork checked. They're going to get their tires checked. They're going to get their air pressure checked because this vessel's coming from Mexico and it's driving a hazmat material. And they want to make sure that all the safety requirements that the Highway Patrol, in order for the vehicle to be on the road, on the highway, they take that pretty serious. They take that very serious, actually. So that was my question. How are they going to avoid that weight scale? Nobody even brought that up in the papers. I didn't see that in any of the articles that was read. Also, when you're dealing with this type of weight, you can almost guarantee that if you do the follow up on the investigation of people who knew, there is going to be a top politician okaying this type of weight because it's basically you got a tunnel on wheels. That's basically what it breaks down to. So in order for this to happen, higher ups know. And just to give you a scenario, just give you an idea, down at a port, you've got your line agents, you got a couple of leads, and then you got your supervisor, and then you have your operational officers, and then you have one port director. And that cargo facility has one. San Isidro has its own individual, and so forth, just like a station FO. So there has to be a head person, and they're called port directors. Now, this is where you just have to actually just imagine the actual importance of this type of weight. So, do you believe a port director was involved? He is a port director and he is responsible at the end of the day of what goes through there and what gets caught, right? Just like a general. He's a general. So basically, he is responsible. If he knew, I don't know. They never proved it, but we'll get into that detail later on in another video. So my question was, where were they going to actually going to clear the scales and where were they going to take the contraband off the tanker? Nobody ever answered that. So, okay. Now let's go back to to the port, to the load. Okay, so this particular canine was eminent and he stood his ground on the work that his dog performed. Okay. He started about 30 to 45 minutes before his start of the day at that port. Don't forget, his day started somewhere else while he retrieved his gear. He just happened to show up there early to test. To, he basically had an idea what was happening or what could be happening actually. And he actually came across that. Good for him, good for his dog, good for his career? No, no. Now you're dealing with politicians, now you're dealing with actual supervisors and port directors, which I am not saying that this port director was in cahoots with this operation. So it went bad for him. This canine went bad for him. He was married to a fellow canine officer, which also received uh, I guess the result, the repercussions of the actual load being caught, and they had a hard time. They had a really hard time after that. Uh, like I said, like I've said, don't worry about what anybody else is doing. And I've said that in numerous videos because there's a number you can call and clear your conscience. But it didn't happen this way. He was animated. He was stubborn. I'm not saying stubborn. He was doing his job. Actually, I shouldn't say that he was stubborn. He was actually doing his job. And unfortunately, he suffered a lot of difficulties from that point on as a canine, and so did his wife. And that shouldn't happen, but it did. And I'm just um, I can't even say I'm just glad it wasn't me, but I learned fast and I paid attention to the actual to what was going on around me enough to not to look the other way, but if I really felt that there was something really wrong, yeah, I could have made the call. But at this point, it was too late for him because he already had insisted. He stood his ground, and before you know it, um, now he's getting the short end of the stick for everything, including hours, including overtime. Uh, People look at you different. People talk to you different. They're not going to trust you as with in general. And they made they made him and his wife. They made them feel very very uncomfortable. So I'm gonna just go ahead and leave it at that for his point of view. Now there is an additional agent that chose to be involved, make accusations, tell stories, forged papers, and convinced people that had the actual means to contact a very large audience, and he duped a lot of reporters, investigative reporters at that. And I think that this is just my opinion that the reporters actually wanted to still follow up on that story, still wanted to pursue it, even though they did not have the proper investigation in paperwork and actually talking to people. Because don't forget, you're not going to get a line agent, you're not going to get a supervisor, you're not going to get a court director to do an interview with you. If you do an interview, forget it. They will find out who you are. Even if you can hide it, even though you can disguise your voice, disguise it, they will find out. They will. And they didn't do that, and they still put a lot of trust in this certain agent that had an agenda. He did have an agenda, but he had no proof. And he took it that route. And on the next video, we're going to get going on his story. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And till next time. Thanks, guys.